Hi, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to be participating in a DIY Valentine's challenge that's hosted by Heidi Sonboul. And there's going to be so many people participating, so go on over to Heidi's channel after you're done watching this video and check out the entire playlist and check out a lot of Heidi's videos as well. Now let's get started. We're going to begin with this red lantern that I picked up at Walmart, and I got it for only $5. Next, we're going to use some of these white roses that I got at the Dollar Tree. And they've had some great, really pretty flowers this year. I also picked up some of this table scatter from Dollar Tree, and some of these fairy lights. I picked these up at Meijer's. We're also going to need some thread and a needle, as well as a pencil and an X-Acto knife. And then what we're going to need will be a ruler, as well as some foam board. And I got this foam board at Dollar Tree as well. And then the only other thing you're going to need is just a hot glue gun. Now, let's get started with this. We're going to take and mark a 5-inch square on our foam board. That's 5 inches going across and 5 inches going up and down. And then we're going to use our X-Acto knife and just cut that out. Now I should have had a cutting board underneath that when I did it, but thank goodness I didn't scratch up my desk. Now after I did it, I realized I went a little bit big, and so I actually had to cut another 1/4 of an inch off just one end. So it ended up being 5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Now once we have that all set, what we're going to do is we're going to take some string or our thread and thread it through our needle and then poke it right through our foam board somewhere towards the middle. It doesn't have to be in the exact middle, just somewhere towards the middle. And we are going to make a heart mobile. And so pull your thread through, leaving a couple inches left hanging down. Now you don't need to put any knots in any of your thread for this. Once you have 2-3 inches left hanging down, whatever it is that you want for the size of your lantern, then go ahead and take one of your table scatters and just put a slight little dab of glue at the very tip. I didn't even actually push the trigger on the glue gun because you really don't need very much glue at all to make these hold to your thread. And just let that adhere for just a second. It doesn't take long at all for that to go ahead and adhere to that. And now you can see it just dangles really cute like. And now that we have that done, we're going to take and on our foam board on the other side, we're just going to put a dab of hot glue up there to hold our thread exactly where we want it to be. And that way we don't have to put any knots in it. We're just going to hold it up there with that little bit of hot glue. And now we're going to go ahead and make our hole for our next heart to hang down. So I'm going to go about an inch, 1.25 inches away and poke our needle right down through our foam board one more time and pull your thread down. Now you can see with my other thumb, I'm still holding the thread, just giving that hot glue a chance to really set up before I let go of that. So I'm pulling our thread all the way through, and then once I have it right where I need it to be, then I can go ahead and let go with my thumb on the other. And you can see right there. And here it is coming out this side. So everything is just the way we need it to be. And now to make sure this doesn't move, we're going to go ahead and add one more dollop of glue right there on the top. Good. Now, while those are drying, we're just going to grab another one of our hearts and we're going to put a little dollop of glue just like before and attach it to our thread that was hanging down. All right, and now you can see we have 2 of our hearts on there, and notice they're at different heights. You want to make sure that all your hearts are at different lengths. It's just going to add a lot more interest. Now we're going to add just 2 more hearts here. So once again, just as we did before, we're going to go ahead and thread our thread through our foam board, putting a little dollop of glue at the top to hold that thread in place. And now while the hot glue is still hot, I'm just going to put that other piece of our foam board down so I can lay the foam board down on it without the hot glue touching our table and sticking to it. And now I'm just measuring to see how long we want our next string to be. And I can cut that right there. And now we're ready to add our next little bit of glue onto this heart. And you can notice that with the table scattered, the hearts come in 2 different colors as well as 2 different sizes. Now for this, I'm only going to use the pink hearts, but I am using 2 of the large pink hearts and 2 of the small pink hearts. Now you can use as many hearts that you want or whatever colors you want, whatever fits your theme best. And there, 3 of them are on. We're going to add 1 more and we're going to call it good for our Heartmobile. You can see how quickly this DIY is, and yet it's so pretty when we're done. Now once again, we're just measuring how long we want this string to be. And we still have quite a bit here, so we're going to pull it the other way. And I'm going to hold the string with one hand along with the foam board while I can put our little bit of hot glue on the other side there. And you can see it's so much easier to just go ahead and hot glue those strings in than to try and add knots that won't fall back through your foam board, or it's just so much easier using the hot glue. And there's our little dab of hot glue on this heart. And I think that is almost dry. It looks like we got a little bit of a tail there. We'll just snip that right off. Good. And there's our little mobile. And you can see how quick and easy that was to make. Now I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to get out our fairy lights here. And they come in a little tight coil, and so I'm just going to uncoil the whole coil and then put them inside of our lantern. Now you can see that you really see the battery pack for this. Well, we're going to cover that up. First off, we're going to take all of our roses off from the stems, and we're just going to use the heads of our roses. Most of the time when I use any florals, I always want to add the greenery in as well as whatever the floral is, but this time we're just going to use the heads of our floral. Just the heads of our roses there. Now, if you notice inside here, I took all the red scatter, our red hearts, and covered up our battery on top and on the floor of our lantern. And then I'm just going and adding 2 roses in the back and 2 roses in the front with our lights twisted in and around and under each of the roses. And you can see that's already looking so pretty in there. And now we're going to take our Heartmobile, and on these lanterns, there's a little lip that goes all the way around the inside of the lantern. And so it's really easy to just go and to hook our foam board up in there. It just will sit up on that little lip and it will stay there really nice. And yet if you want to take it down, it's very easy to take down as well. And now we just make sure that our hearts aren't caught on any of our fairy lights so that they can move around freely. And there it is with our roses and our hearts. It's already looking so pretty. Now we could shut our door, but I really want to see the full effect of our hearts as well as our roses, so I'm going to keep the door open. And now we only have one thing left to do to finish this DIY, and that's to add a bow to the top. Now I don't want a really huge bow that is going to overpower the roses and the hearts and what's inside our lantern. So I'm going to make a little bit smaller bow, but I want a nice long tail to it. So I cut off quite a long piece for the tail. And let me go ahead and I'll measure this here and show you exactly how long it is that I cut this tail to. And there's 1 foot, 2 feet, and let me turn this around here. Okay, so I cut 2 feet, 8.5 inches. And now for the actual bow part itself, we're just going to make a really small bow. And so it's probably about 6 inches from the end of the loop to the other end of the loop. And what I'm doing is I'm just going back and forth with our loops and twisting in the back side to make sure that the pattern of our bow is always facing up. And we're just going back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to have 3 loops on each side of our bow. And again, you can just see how I twist it here and then go ahead and make another loop. Oops, I think I twisted that backwards there. And now once you have your 3 loops on each side and they're all the exact same length, and just double check to make sure everything's the same length as each other. And once you're happy with that, then we can go ahead and cut that extra ribbon off. And so that's looking good, so I think we can go ahead and cut this. And setting that out of the way, we're just going to go ahead and scrunch this all up in our fingers right in the center and take some of our floral wire, and I'm just going to double our floral wire right in half just to make it a little bit stronger. And now once we have that done, we're going to take our floral wire and just wrap that right around our bow. And then give that wire a good twist right around our bow. Twist that a few different times there. And just go ahead and fluff your ribbon all the way around, making a nice circle. And I purposely did not do a ribbon in the center of our bow because we want a nice flat part for that portion. And it's looking good. We're just finishing up our fluffing here, getting it in that nice circle. And then once you get it all in a circle and then each of the ribbons are fluffed, each of the loops are fluffed out, then go ahead and just kind of push in your center part a little bit, giving it a bowl shape, just like that. Perfect. And now we can go ahead and cut off our wire. And now we're going to attach our tail. But before we do that, we're going to take our last rose, because remember, each of our rose bunches from Dollar Tree come with 5 roses on them. And we put 4 inside our lantern, and we're going to take that 5th one and put it right here in the center of our bow. And just push it deep inside there. Perfect. Now we need to let that dry for just a minute there. Isn't that looking so cute with that rose in the bow? And now we're going to attach our tail to the back side of our bow. And we're just twisting our wire right around our tail to attach it. And now we're going to attach our whole bow right to the top of our lantern. We're going to put it right around the handle of the lantern and right around the corner of the chimney portion of the lantern. And now that that's all attached, we can just take the ends of our bow and just dovetail those ends, giving them a quick snip there. Good, and do that to both of them. Good. Now we just need to rearrange our tails into whatever shape you like best. I'm thinking I like the swirled look to it, but then after doing it, I decided I prefer more of the accordion look. So I just folded them back and forth, and you can see how beautiful our lantern looks, all lit up. I love how the roses just glow inside of it, with our hearts hanging down, the lights, the fairy lights going. I think it looks so pretty and so romantic, just exactly what I wanted for Valentine's Day. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you could give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks so much for watching.